I've got Bryan Roy with me today. He's got his own Facebook, YouTube. Is it on YouTube?
We're working on the YouTube.
He's got a Facebook show called You're Overthinking It. Check it out. It's on there. We're talking about today the forest fires again. I know we did this the other day, but I'm going to talk about it again because some things have been brought to light, and they were actually showed to me by somebody who watches the show, which I'm grateful for. So if you watch this show at home and you see a news article that you want us to talk about, get it to me. You can get it to me on Twitter or on Facebook or however you can. Let me know about it, and then if we like it, we'll talk about it.
There's a comment button down there.
Exactly. Yeah, you can use comments as well. So the forest fires that are going on right now up north, I can say that I think it seems like the Wall government is doing a decent enough job fighting it, but there are a lot of things that could have been done to prevent it. So these fires shouldn't be at the level they're at to begin with. First of all, I'm going to get right into it. When the NDP was in charge back in the days of Lorne Calvert, they had this policy they called the Let It Burn policy, and that specified that they don't put out fires until they're within 20 kilometers of a community. You know about this?
Yes. Yeah. As long as, it's not bothering people, just let it burn. Literally let it burn.
The problem with this policy is that sometimes if it's 70 kilometers out from a community and trees start burning and they just leave it, by the time it gets to within 20 kilometers of a community, the fire's the size of Saskatoon and it's out of control. That's the case now. So, but as I said, the NDP started this stupid policy, and the Sask party was really tough on them, and they fought them about it. They took them to task for it, saying, look, if you elect the Sask party, we're going to get rid of this Let It Burn policy and instill something a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Now that the Sask party has been in power since 2010, they haven't done it. The Let It Burn policy still stands, but only now it's the NDP party going after the Sask party saying you guys need to change it.
You rascals.
Yes. So a stupid policy, nonetheless, it needs to go, but none of these parties are fighting to get rid of it.
They're just waiting for the next guy to get rid of it.
Or to at least make a campaign issue about it. But although I should say the Sask party has done some changes to their fire policy, some changes, some drastic ones, some cutbacks. For instance, they got rid of the manned observation decks.
Yes, I don't know what you'd call those. The forest rangers? Do we have forest rangers?
Well, the guys that used to sit on the decks and watch fires.
Yeah.
They got rid of, there's 38 of them. They got rid of them, or they got rid of the manned employees, and now they just use a video camera.
They just got a selfie stick on top of a tree with an iPhone on it, looking for fires.
I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but that's the idea. And it doesn't see as well as a person watching with binoculars would. So that's they're cutting back on expenses there. That's 38 full-time jobs they got rid of. Okay. Also, another thing they've done is they've made firefighting training for volunteer firefighters a lot more difficult. Not that I have a problem with making sure people are well trained before they go fight fires, but now it's to this point where you have to take a 3-day government-funded course before you can volunteer firefight, and sometimes it takes a long time just to get somebody in to teach the course. And that's happened here where they had people lined up to go volunteer, and they were just waiting for somebody to teach this course to get these people certified. Water bombers.
We used to have quite a few.
Apparently we only have 2 now. I don't know if this was a reliable source, but I think we're down to 2 of them, and we used to be upwards of 20.
I think we can say factually that there are significantly less than there used to be.
Yes. Okay. And also, there's this system in which seasonal firefighters, feel compelled to start fires in order to employ themselves for the summers. I don't necessarily know the answer for that. Maybe you just pay them year-round regardless.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to have them than not need them, you would think, than to need them and not have them.
I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah.
So another thing I want to get into is climate change. This has had, especially with conservative governments, and I don't want to stick it to them too much, but it is conservative governments who generally deny climate change, and these fires are getting worse and worse every year. The summers are getting drier and hotter and lasting longer. It's at the point now where we get lightning without rain. And lightning without rain in a forest with trees that haven't seen rain in weeks and weeks and weeks.
That's generally bad news.
Starts fires. So the climate change denial, just last week, Exxon came out. They'd known since 1981 that climate change was a real thing and was going to affect us. They're not the only ones. Koch Industries, Shell, all these people, they're spending billions of dollars to have people come up with excuses to deny climate change.
Mm-hmm.
It's painful, but this kind of comes down to, this is the people's fault.
Well, yeah, because we've kind of gotten it to the point where if the politicians say what they're actually going to do, no one's going to vote for them. They have to lie about what they're going to do. They have to say, oh, we're definitely going to fix climate change. Next year, there's going to be no more climate change. Vote for us.
Well, there's not going to be climate change at all. It's going to be gone if you vote for us.
Yeah, we're going to fix it.
But yeah, basically, on that line of thinking, if the NDP, when they put that policy in place, the let it burn policy, the Sask party then came and said, we're going to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. And then they didn't. And then when the NDP later on comes and attacks the Sask party, they're using the excuse that, well, you guys put that policy there to begin with, instead of responding to it. So what? We still need to solve the problem. It was a bad policy when the NDP used it. It's still a bad policy now. Why are we making excuses for still using it?
Who's going to fix it? Like, don't tell us what they did. Tell us what you're going to do.
Right. And that's both parties. And as you said, that is something we've created as a culture where in order for a politician to get elected, they need to lie to us. They need to tell us, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do these 50 things if you elect us. And then when they get in many cases, they just can't do it. It's just not that easy.
It's not entirely feasible.
Right. Other cases, they just don't do it. Other cases, they never thought it was a good idea to begin with. They just told you they were going to do it so you would elect them. Right. And we allow them to get away with this. So this dirty culture of denial on many fronts.
And I think a lot of that comes from people just not really understanding that there are ways you don't have to sit there and just talk about it on Facebook and complain to your friends, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Right. There are people that you can phone up, that you can call your MLPs, your MLAs.
Or your MPs.
MPs, MLAs. Call all of them, tell them your problems, and they might not get back to you tomorrow. They're pretty busy guys. They likely won't, but they're going to think about it. They're going to ponder over it. They've got means of making things happen, and it's a way better approach than just talking about it on Facebook, as we talk about it on Facebook.
Oh, that's a bit of reality.